right, and it is time for our first run of the morning here. Steve, with the last campfire, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stevetvonline. I am super excited to be opening up this amazing marathon. I am going to be playing the last campfire any percent. I am joined by my wonderful commentator, Cutie Roo.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cutie Brew. I'm here. I do things and stuff, and I love this game so much. We have plans in the future for this game too, but I would like to say thank you for having me, Steve TV Online, and I hope you have fun. And thank you for having me at the marathon.
Yeah, this is a very very cute game. If you've never seen this game before, you're absolutely gonna enjoy it. It also has like if you play it casually, the story in this is very, very good as well. It's a very solid story as well. So if you like this game, it's usually on sale. It's on sale quite a bit. But if you really enjoy the game, I would strongly suggest playing it casually because there's a lot more than what you're gonna see. So the timing will begin the second that I hit normal mode here. So if everybody's ready on time, then I will count us down and then we'll start. Timing will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing that we're gonna do right away, obviously, is skip the cutscene, and then you're gonna be hearing a commentator talk almost this entire time. Well, not commentator, but like narrator talk this entire time. If you can read fast enough, you can kind of get what the story is.
Yeah, it's actually honestly the story and the puzzles in this game casually I really recommend playing just because puzzles are actually pretty well thought and well designed. In the speedrun, we make it look easy, but it's definitely like casually. I would say like this game was like 6 to 10 hours for anyone who wants to complete it 100%. So it's a great little game, and as well as you have this cute little character named Ember running around, and I really want the outfit that Ember's wearing. It's so adorable.
So one thing I want to point out, I have a favorite line that I like to say here. So Ember finally sees somebody, but they're dead, and the first thing that they decide to do is take the satchel. So basically, it's finders keepers. Sorry. Don't
But I
steal
do
things.
yeah. Well, and if you do have head to respect the dead, yeah, this game is quite interesting in the sense of how they interpret death, but also it's just like life and death. That's kind of like the themes in this game. But right now we're just kind of doing the tutorial. This is kind of the easy part. Just it's like explaining to you like how to do things and like what things are going to be like. We have this little statue that we're putting into place, and so this right here is pretty like easy. We're figuring out the puzzle, and we're opening the door so that we can get to the campfire, because that is what this game is called, the last campfire. But yeah, so in terms of the speed run, I think this is an amazing speed run for many reasons. It's chill, it's cool. The puzzles, once you learn them, they're very fun. Also, the fact that there's some really cool glitches, and we're gonna have quite a few to showcase throughout this run, and that's what makes the game super enjoyable as a speed run.
Yeah, right away, like it doesn't like seem like there's gonna be a lot going on, but a lot of puzzle solving is gonna go by really quick. It's gonna seem like Rue was saying, it's gonna seem very easy, but casually the first time you play it, there are some challenging puzzles that will come your way.
Yes. And right now, what Steve TV Online is doing, we are running the whole time, but we are not pressing and holding the button to run the whole time. We literally have to dash and press the button as we dash. The best way to indicate that are the little, like you see those gray little puffs that are coming out from Ember on the bottom of the feet. Basically, when we are doing that, we're trying to watch and pay attention to the visual cue of like when we have to time the run and dashing it, because yeah, unfortunately we can't just hold it. We have to continuously hit that B button. I think you're playing on the controller?
Yep, I'm playing on controller.
So essentially, yeah, it's important to watch and pay attention to what Ember's doing. This is a puzzle that we're solving. we're trying to get to our very first fire and trying to lit it. And we are essentially trying to do our best to go as fast as we can to get through the cutscenes as fast as we can. We can't really skip what the narrator is talking about, but we're trying to at least get to the destination more quickly than usual.
Yeah. From getting the ember out to like actually like everything happening, it's about like 10 seconds. I like counted it. So you'll see later on. It's not all going to be like this. We're also going to be waking up something called the Forlorn. And the Forlorn are kind of people. They got trapped in here by their own. I guess they say darkness. And they got a little bit too far into the darkness and got trapped. So we're helping them escape that darkness.
Now, this is important right here that we do not follow that little thing all the way because we do not want to get into a very, very long cutscene. We're avoiding it right now, but we will get back to it later. And in fact, we're going to get to another puzzle. And that's another thing about the campfire. So for each campfire, we have to get a specific amount of forlorns to proceed to the next area, to the next zone. There's technically 3 zones in this game. And the way to unlock those zones is to get all these little like ember fires and trying to get them to the campfire. And I think it's 3 or 4. I'm trying to remember that part.
It's 4. It's 4, yeah. I almost messed it up pretty good.
You're good. You're good. This one, honestly, so there's gonna be like we've talked about this earlier where there's gonna be some puzzles where you played it casually and then you see the speedrun and you're like, really? Oh, okay. Like the puzzles are a lot more easier to do than they were done casually. But I mean, honestly, it's once you know all the puzzles though, it's kind of fun to just be like, I'm like the puzzle master.
Yeah. All right, so this is our first forlorn. We're technically waking up. We woke up another one technically in the back. You can see it in the back at the campfire, but we're not going to wake it up until later on. And after going through that the first 2 puzzles, we're actually going to do our first skip of the game, and it's actually one of my favorites. So I hope everybody likes frogs. Do you like frogs, Rue?
Yes, I do, and this is my favorite too. Frogs are the best, and you'll see why pretty soon.
So what I'm going to do is, it's actually very simple. We're going to go over here, we're going to pick up this frog statue, we're going to bring it all the way down here, we're going to stand about right there, we're going to walk out of bounds, and then we're just going to pop up top, and we are going to get our next guy. This allows for us to completely skip having to go around like a 10-15 second area to go all the way around that area. Instead, you can just go out of bounds, go up there, and get to the next forlorn.
Yeah, that's what's so amazing about this game. There's so many pockets of those moments where you take the object and you collide and you put the XY collision point and then you pick it and then you're like, and then all of a sudden the game's like, hey, yeah, you're supposed to be here. That's right. It's amazing. So you're going to see that throughout this run. It's a very, very common like glitch trick that we do, but it's a lot of fun to watch and it's fun to showcase because you don't expect it, especially from this game. You're like, oh, this is a very chill, very cute game, and then all of a sudden you're like, what? And you have to do so to kind of make a very important point about what just happened as well is the fact that you have to be in a specific spot to make that collision happen.
And it all depends on where you're standing out of bounds, I found recently. If you hit it in a different spot, you'll have to climb up that whole thing, wasting like another 5 seconds compared to what I did, where I just popped up to the top. If you hit it out of bounds, you can just do it. But the trick is not over, by the way. You can just hit it again and you don't have to walk out. You can pick them up. And then we get to use the frog for one more trick. And I've been struggling with this recently, but let's see if I can get it. So we're going to put Froggy about right there. We're going to walk over here and we're going to pop up. This is going to put us out of bounds. We're going to walk over this way and through here. and we have now skipped a whole other like large section of the game. I honestly don't even remember how how much that skips.
Yeah, so it skips a ton, actually, because what in the original game, just to kind of give some context, the original game wants you to talk to the not like the fisherman, but like the dude that's in the swamp, and then you're supposed to like get the key, and then you're supposed to open it up. But yeah, by doing this glitch, it saves a ton of time because getting the glee key, it basically like it's a lot of time. It's literally like probably like 30 minutes. So that is important to do. All these glitches are important to do because they save so much time. It's not something that like unless we have like a glitchless category, but I recommend doing them. And they're fun to do.
The funny thing about all these glitches is when I was playing this casually, I was like, oh, I definitely want to speedrun this game. I bet there's not going to be that many glitches. And then you look on the speedrun.com page and you're like, oh. Well, I just wasted like hours trying to do all this section.
The stranger spoke hesitantly. Is the campfire crowded?
I love how like so that's another thing. So to get in this cave, it's interesting how it's just like, oh, we're already done. Because like technically speaking, you can like you see that little that's the guy, like that's the fisherman. You're supposed to talk to that person, and yeah, so it's a fisherman or I forgot who that actually is, but
I don't
I don't remember. Yeah, I remember the storyline. I just remember the names. So this is where earlier where we missed it. Like this is what triggers. And so if we were to follow that ember and trigger this cutscene, that would have been a huge time loss. But now that we're part of the storyline, it's kind of showing like, oh, okay, well, you know, we've woken up this campfire, and so now we're going to be talking to the head forlorn, the spirit forlorn, and then next thing you know, we have access to the next area.
So this is actually a perfect time for anything to be read off or any donations or anything, because there's just a lot of talking going on.
Again, that word, forlorn. The forlorn are those. If you find them, send them to me, and I will guide them. I am just so many lost embers have I ever thought of those they loved.
Now I have a question for you.
The path ahead.
So
that if you return,
did you know that like with the narrator's voice, you could change like the voice?
Little one,
no, I did not.
I will guide
others to follow. I found that interesting. I like. Well, I kept it at the original because I like the original, but I was messing with the settings and I found that you can. I thought it was interesting. The other thing that is important out of this is there's a lot more forlorns. So we do have another category called all forlorns. There's way more. I think it's like 10 total.
In each section, yeah, probably.
Or 8.
There's 7. It looks like 7 in each area.
7. My bad. 7 forlorns in each area. And so that is, when we're saying forlorns, we're talking about like all those puzzles that we're getting like the little, you know, we're finding the light out of the darkness in. That's basically, there's 7 of those in each zone.
So that loading screen right there, I actually played a little bit of the game before I even went on here, just for that loading screen, because that loading screen takes forever for some reason. The opening cutscene and that cutscene takes forever.
Yes, come a little closer.
So loading ahead of time actually saved a little bit of time for us having to wait for that.
The Forest King. Yes, come this way.
I do not. These birds.
These birds? So
the story. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
No, go for it.
So the storyline of this is right now we're trying to kind of figure out like what's going on, but we're meeting the Forest King for the first time, and we're actually like scared in our boots a little bit. And well, I think we're wearing boots. And yeah, so basically with the Forest King, you know, just basically we're trying to keep everyone, all the forlorns safe. And so the Forest King is like, hey, make sure to not like let anyone else get out of the forlorn. We gotta keep them all here. We gotta keep them all safe, right? So just to kind of give some context, throughout this, there is like this little red little forlorn that you've been
See,
seeing throughout the
birds would
game,
make the
and
world laugh.
that
It wasn't only the
like,
knights
huh,
that frightened Ember.
what's this all about with that little guy?
The bird
So
of
basically,
flying
you're
and
going to
birds
continuously
would
see that
protect
character
you from
throughout the game in certain
forest.
spots,
Perhaps they could rescue.
but
It was hard to know what
essentially,
else
with
to
all the
say.
Forlorn, we are trying to protect them
Clever
because we are
little,
scared
you
for
will
them to get
stay.
any further
Search
into the
for
darkness.
hope
We don't
no
want them
more.
to be
Now
lost in the
take this
darkness.
feather.
However,
Feather meet birds
as
keep
we're
little
venturing
birds
on,
should never leave the nest.
we might have different feelings on that.
Yeah. So this is actually my favorite. Just the story part of this is hilarious to me for some reason. Because these birds actually are very enthralled with the satchel that you store.
I can hold that. Leave it
And
over
you just
there. One of us.
so you just kind of
And we
like
all
leave them
share
there to
snacks
like
and
ponder,
things.
hey, who can get that? And then we go over here talk to this bird that's standing
The guard
guard. And
squawked.
he's like, nobody can go down there.
Stand back.
Well, nothing's
Don't
down
come
there.
in. Nothing down. Go see
And
the
then you
forest king.
show them
He'll
the
set
feather
you
that you
straight.
have, and he's like, oh, you're going to become one of us
Stand
soon.
watch
So why
here.
don't you take your first
Promise
shift
you won't let
here and make sure
anyone
nobody walks
pass.
down there. But instead of making sure nobody goes down there, we just kind of walk down there anyway.
Yeah.
Ember didn't like deceiving the birds.
I have to admit, I really, really want like a plushie of
But what
Ember,
choice did
or
they
like
have?
I really, really want like a onesie of Ember because I love the outfit so much. I love the ears. Every single time like you go down something and the ears like waddle away around, it's just so cute.
Ember
So right
hurried
now we're in the
away from the
marsh, and in
birds.
the marsh it's kind of like
The
how do I
mist
put it?
hurried close
This
to
is an
Ember,
area
hiding
that
them.
we are like,
The
hey, we're
forest
supposed
king
to
seemed
stand guard and take
frightened.
care of
The
this,
birds
and
cruel.
I'm gonna be in
Ember
training
would
kind of
rather
deal.
risk
But
turning
hey,
forlorn
guess
than
what?
become
I'm gonna
like
go out
them.
here and just look around, right? So in the marsh, though, it's important that we have to get a few things here. We're going into the desert. Well, it's not the desert. It's like this kind of like
It looked
I
like a
don't want to
map.
say Lost Woods,
Pieces were
but you're basically solving the puzzle. And as Steve TV Online is showing, that is the main tablet, and on that main tablet,
It was the
it
same
opens
place
up
as before.
pathways to get
But
to
how?
progression, basically. And it's important that we do this
An
is
eerie
because of the
scene,
fact that we need a
like
very,
a
very
moment
important item that we
frozen
have
in
to use
time.
throughout the rest of the game.
Man, this area just seems so familiar. It seems like we keep on passing by it over and over again.
Mm-hmm. It's not the Lost Woods, though.
Yeah. This also reminds me, I have another game that I run called Carto, and it reminds me of Carto, where the whole game is based off
Gradually, more
of
of the
basically
map
something
was
like this, where you're moving the map around to
A
solve
section
puzzles.
of bridge had somehow been ripped from
So
its
when I
middle.
saw this section of the game, casually, I got super excited because it reminded me so much of Carto.
It was like the map had been broken.
I have
on
to play that. I
purpose.
haven't heard that game, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
it's so cute. It's so awesome. It's about a little girl that gets lost from her grandmother, and then the map like kind of like got all rearranged, and that's when she found out she had the power to rearrange the map to get back to her
Oh,
grandmother. Yeah, every puzzle can be solved by rearranging the map, and there are actually
okay.
there's actually skips inside of that game as well that we found later on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so now this is where we are going to be actually getting that very important item, and that very important item is called the
The
Lanthorn.
mist revealed a secret
And it's going to
place.
allow for us
Was it
to
hidden
do
on
some
purpose?
interesting movement with some of the pieces. It's not going to really help us with a skip per se, but it allows for us. I think we literally have to do this in order to continue throughout the game.
Yes, you do. It's like one of the most important items that you have to get in order to solve puzzles. And like basically get through the rest of the game.
All right, and in that time frame of me talking, I solved the puzzle. It's not really a puzzle. It's just moving stuff back and forth.
Yeah. So this actual like item that's coming up, I really want everyone to hear the sound that it comes out from it because it's very, very beautiful.
Alright, Lanthorn. So all this guy is saying is other people in the past have hidden this for years, and you came by to find its power.
The statues, the instrument you... Another before you took great effort to hide it.
I always find it
within
funny
this
that
riddle.
you're supposed to be standing and watch this whole entire time, and then you find like one of the most important items
The
that
lanthorn
someone
began
hasn't
to
found in
glow.
a long time.
So the Lanthorn allows for you to move the earth around you, and anything that has like that magnetic look to it, like that gold piece, you're able to use to your advantage with the Lanthorn. And if you're saying, well, hey, there is some of those on the pieces that you had earlier, well, that's really good, because like stuff like this, like you won't be moving that one because it only gets you a chest. But now we're going to go over here and we're going to just I preset this up, so now all I have to do is move that over and the last puzzle is solved. So now we're going to actually move the pieces that we've moved over multiple times. So like this one, we're just going to move up. Then we're going to go over the same one that we just went over. And then we're going to get onto the final piece, which we've gone over like 5 times already. And we're finally going to be able to move a different direction on it. So we're going to grab this and we're going to turn it all the way around. And there we go. We have now solved it.
Ta-da! That's how we get into the pig marsh. The pig marsh is I don't know, it's really cute. It has like a lot of the, like, I don't know, the pigs, and then there's even like a piranha plant kind of thing.
But it also has some of the biggest skips in the entire game. But before we get to our first skip, I want everybody, we're going down the slide, I want everybody to hold their hands. Whee!
Ember didn't
I
mind
did it.
getting muddy.
I know
The
you can't
slide
see me,
was
but I did
such
it.
fun.
So normally what you have to do is you have to make the pig go over to this plant and feed the plant this fruit, and the pig will then eat the plant. However, we completely skip that by going over here, wait for the camera to move a little bit, and we're going to turn sharply, and oh, that's not good. Okay, that's fine. It turned. I had it for a second.
I know that feeling. So
This is the trick that kills my run every time.
Yeah, what Stevetvonline is doing is just basically we're trying to skip that whole entire getting the pig to the plant, then the pig eating the plant, and if we just have to, we would do it. But this one is not a consistent setup. It's just such a finicky camera angle. Yay!
All right.
It's basically you're taking that camera angle. Good job. You're taking that camera angle, and it's just like you're waiting for the camera angle to move it when the time you drop the object, and then you have Ember move with it. So, yeah, it's not a consistent, but I know that the moment you do get it, though, it's super, like, it saves a ton of time. And even doing it a few times. Whee!
All right, now comes the big skip. I'm gonna kind of focus just a little bit. So.
Okay, so for this one coming up, we're gonna take this TV, and as soon as you see, okay, so you can't see Ember right now, but Stevetvonline is waiting for the pig to kind of, there's a visual cue. Ah, there it is. So basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to beat like a whole section, and we're just waiting for the pig to get to a certain state. And then as soon as Stevetvonline shows it, sees it, basically, here, I'm gonna be quiet for a second.
Oh, that's not the issue.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it too much.
Got it. So basically, what you can't see that's happening right now is that once that visual cue is shown, there's going to be a left and then a sharp right, and then you have to follow the path up on top to a certain point. And once you are there, then you're able to kind of stay out of bounds and then navigate the whole way until you fall down. But we're just waiting for it.
There we go. We got it. We're good.
Nice. So there you go. Basically, because of that visual cue, and then the sharp left-right turn, then you are able to kind of get up there and then start moving around. This does save a ton of times, even if you take multiple tries, it still is worth doing, just because it saves so much time. Like, literally probably like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was very slow what I use compared to what I normally do, but it's still like faster than like doing it normally.
Yeah, because like on my runs, I know for me that I just basically
They felt the air beneath
I
them,
don't do it
the
consistently.
distance
I've done
ever
it like a few
widening.
times, but I can't do it to a point where it's consistent. So that's something I'm going to be working on after this. But basically, I can tell you for sure, it does save a ton of
It
time.
was such a long way down.
All right.
So as you can see, the lanthorn is a very, very important tool that we use for all the puzzles. We're using it for the environment. We're using it to move objects, earth, like different things like that.
That was a very slow section, but whatever.
No, you got it. You got
Yeah.
it. Honestly, it was fun to even see the hardest trick. That is one of the hardest. I would say that's the hardest trick on top of
A resolve
there's
stirred
another trick
within
down the line
stranger.
that you'll see in a
Just a
different
few
zone. That's
more
I would
steps.
say the second hardest.
It can't be
But,
But we don't have to do that trick just once. The hardest trick just
No.
once. No,
Yeah.
we have to do it a second time as well. Oh wow! Of course, I got that
Yep.
first try. See, when I don't even think about it, I just do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
And then we
Nicely
go
done, by
into
the way.
another trick that's just been like it's the same trick that we did with the pig, but I've just been struggle bussing with this one for some reason. Hardcore. It's the same. There we go. Okay. So now we're gonna go up here. We're gonna go around, and we're gonna drop down. We're gonna go into this corner right here, wiggle a little bit. Maybe there we go, and then we're gonna fall into the next puzzle.
I love how the best way to. I think that's something we should do going forward. We should have like a little wiggle emote for Ember, just because he just gotta wiggle so much for all these glitches.
Oh, and
So-
that puzzle seemed a little bit difficult. The solution to it is turtle, frog, frog, turtle, frog, frog, turtle, frog, frog, turtle, frog, frog. If you mess up, just keep on doing turtle, frog, frog, and you'll get there eventually.
Yep.
Otherwise, you
Stranger
fall
was
through the
afraid.
floor, which is
He
very
couldn't see
not
what
fun.
lay ahead. Ember saw their own fear reflected in the
Now
stranger.
this puzzle was a puzzle that was hard for me, casually, and then when I saw the speedrun, I was like, really?
And there we go.
But,
That's solved.
The darkness hunted
Yeah.
for them all.
It's so like I always find it funny. But anywho, yeah, I would have to say definitely play this game. I recommend it to anyone. I know that's something I'm gonna probably re-say over, but the fact that like this is such a hidden little gem, it really is.
Oh, yeah.
It's something that I would definitely like. Even speedrunning it too would be like way fun, but just even casually and speedrunning it, anyone who's interested definitely can find the game on Steam. I know I played it on
Little Ember
PC, but
spoke hesitantly.
I actually played it on
How
Steam
do
Deck,
you continue?
and yeah,
Never
it's really
knowing if
fun.
we'll reach the end.
I am playing it on the Xbox Series X. I believe it's also on Switch and PlayStation. I think it's on everything. But like I said, it's basically on sale all the time. Like I don't think I ever see it not on sale.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope
So
everybody. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I hope everybody likes slides because we're gonna be going down the same slide twice. Whee! So we have to slide down there just to get down here. Then we're gonna turn this around. Then we're gonna go down the exact same. We're gonna climb right back and back up and do the exact same slide.
Oh yeah, that's. Okay, so we need a wiggle and a wee emote. That's all we need. We need that.
All right, so we're gonna talk to this one, and this should be our second to last one. And this is actually one of my favorite puzzles, just because it's like super simple and just really fast. So all we're gonna do is move these over here. Oops. We're gonna move this over here up. Oops. Maybe if I can get through. And then we're gonna move this one all the way over and up, and then we're gonna move. Oops. If I get out of the way, that would help. And then move this one up that way. Go all the way over here. jump
The
onto
time
this
to
one
grow had
over
passed.
and stand on it, and then move, and we are solved.
Ta-da! Yeah, this one, I would say all the puzzles, like, okay, so casually now, we've actually skipped a lot casually. In this whole entire area, there's actually like a whole life and a whole like, there's
Yep.
even like a storyline to go get some soup so that you can feed the soup, and it's a turtle. The turtle's really cool. And
The strangers
yeah, like it's
stretch
just
their
like there's so
limbs.
much that we're skipping,
Perhaps it
and
is not too
I
late
would
after
definitely
all.
say that like the turtle, so it was in the earlier screen on the bottom. The turtle is like my favorite character
See,
in
I
this
like the
whole
witch.
entire.
The witch is also
You
in
like
here,
the
and
witch?
yeah, the witch is one of my favorite characters too.
The witch is pretty cool. I love the turtle though. But yeah, so basically, as of right now, we're kind of, this pig that you see right here is still sleeping, right? Well, we want them to keep sleeping, but if we were to wake up that pig casually, we would have to feed that pig, and then that pig moves into here, and then you see that empty spot
The
that we just
skull
ran
was
past.
disgusting.
Well, that pig
Perhaps the
would
pig would
have,
like it.
put there, and that would have been your spot to go over it casually. By
And
the way,
that
spoilers
salt.
for anyone who the casual part.
The skull is actually what you would be feeding the pig if you wanted to actually wake him up in the first place. You'll feed him
Yep.
everything else, and it won't wake him up except for the skull.
Yep. Which is interesting. But yes. It's just basically, so that weird skull like cutscene moment, that's for the pig.
All right, so this was a little bit more difficult puzzle for me when I originally played it, and then this is one of those moments where you're like,
Stranger
really, it's that
puzzled over
easy
their journey.
when you learn the speed run. So now we are done with the
Some
puzzle.
steps felt effortless,
I think, yeah. I think it was literally like,
twisted by unseen.
oh, I don't know. I took way, way more tries to do that.
Yeah, because if you put the fire over the little holes that are on the ground, it actually blows them out with fire.
Yeah, the wind will take it and just, so you're trying everything you can. But the other thing is that where the end of where the fire is, you can't move it. Like you can't squish it. You can't just like move the block so you can squish it.
Right.
Game won't allow you.
Gratefully,
So
the
now that we
stranger
have
said,
all the four
"Friends,
Ember
thank
or
you.
forlorns
We all
here,
help each other along
I always
the
say Ember
path."
because of Ember's name. All the four forlorns. Now we're gonna head into the next section of the game, and we're gonna have more development in the story.
Yep, it's just it's a lot of mashing again. For just doing a little bit of the where am I, and I want to continue on, and then they'll open up
Ember
the
came
thing for
upon
us.
another
So if you have
campfire
anything,
lost in the
you can go
wilderness.
ahead and
It looked
talk about
long
it.
cold, but ready to be lit.
Yeah, the only thing I do want to say is thank you to chat for already breaking
The
my cookie
ghosts,
clicker bit.
I will warn them.
Uh,
Ember looked to the ghost for
chat
answers.
chat learned that you could activate the cookie clicker during the
This
game
is-
scene.
Here hope was.
Whoops.
We must not lose hope. Ember thought of those
Will I
lost,
fix it? I don't know.
those they'd left behind. The path ahead. Know that
Like
if
you can
you
actually
return, you will
click it
always
with
be
your
welcome.
mouth.
You could click it and
You
it'll
have done
activate
well. I
during
will
the
lay
game
the path
during the
ahead
game
for
scene,
you.
which you shouldn't do. Whoops.
Are there a lot of cookies?
Currently there's 362.
That's a lot of. I want some cookies. That sounds good.
You have seen. They
Alright.
know the secrets
So
of this
now we're
place.
going over to that, and
Seek them
we are going to head back up to the Forest King again. But it's actually another one of my favorite dialogues. It's always with these birds that have the greatest dialogue to me, because we're going to go over, and I always like to say tell the truth, and they're gonna say save your lies for the Forest
Well,
King.
now, well, fun. Hope you have a
Oh,
good
yeah.
Ember's heart.
Alright, what do I do?
Ember told the birds
Oh,
about all they
I'm making
save
it-
your
I've
maid.
done both,
Oh
I
yes,
think.
yes. Tell
I've-
me
I-
how.
Both of them
wanted
are
to
the
save
both
the
of them are the
dog.
same. Both of them are the same distance. I figured it out.
Yeah, I think that's what I think it's The only one that matters is the end, I think, and even then, that's not even that much of a difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? But basically, like, no matter what decision you make, it doesn't change the outcome, or it doesn't change like additional text too much. That's, I think, what we're talking about.
Right. Except for obviously when you're talking to the forlorn spirit, you have to make sure that you say, I want to move on and open the door. Otherwise, they'll just say, oh, well, go find the other forlorn. So you want to make sure that you're saying the correct dialogue there. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
You must last chance.
Yeah, because if you set the time off.
Let no more.
So once
So
again,
now we have the. Oh, go ahead.
Once again, the Forest King is going to trust us with giving us one last chance. And the birds say, this is your last chance. Make sure not to betray the Forest King.
I think it's so funny how, you know, we're so untrustworthy for walking around in the marsh. The pig miners.
And another funny dialogue is going to come up here. They say, and Amber turns the key slowly.
And slowly began to turn it.
I don't think that was slow.
No, it wasn't. I love this game. But yeah, the storyline's quirky. I love it. There's a lot of great characters here.
All right, now my
Even
least favorite area in the entire game.
Birds behind.
Yeah, so there's a few reasons why. I would say this is my least favorite as well. For some reason, we cannot escape this cutscene. We have to watch this cutscene. I think it's a trigger one too.
Yeah, that's why I walked forward, because it's going to move you forward up to that spot anyway.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, you want to avoid it, but you can't because it triggers the next part. And I don't know, this whole area, like, so essentially you see this pig and that's the dam and you of course need to open that, right? So we have to open it. But it's just, it's so long. And like the other thing too, it's like this part right here too. I think the crab is cute. Don't get me wrong, the crab's great, and I think it's cute, like the interaction with the crab. But then you'll see what's gonna happen right now with the crab.
Yeah, and there's some things that are important to explain a little bit about this crab. You're going to be feeding it out of the bucket here, but it can only move in the direction that it sees things. So you have to put it in a specific area. So like I'm putting it in a specific order right here. Because he will be turning in that direction, and he will only move there in that direction if you set it down like that. So this should be, I have one more, and that should be it. So now while he's going, I'm going to run all the way over here, and I'm just going to stand right here and wait for the Iron Claw to get trapped by the other character. So then we're going to pick up the Iron Claw, and we're going to use them to help us out.
Yeah. I think it is. I think the crab itself is cute, and this part is cute. It's just that particular feeding part is very long. Because you like the other thing to kind of take away from that too is like when you're throwing the food and placing the food, you can't just like rapid fire it. You have to place it in a specific spot, and the game like can only allow you to have so much out at once too. So right now, this is kind of like we're climbing, we're going up. We want to open up this dam. It's important that we get this open. We have to go and climb all the way to the top, essentially. That was a lot easier than I remembered casually. I remember casually it was harder.
Yeah. Once you know which direction you have to move things, then it makes it so much easier.
Yes.
So right here.
Oh, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
Oh no! Right here. This is a whole underground furnace, and so we are putting these pipes together so that we can have like the fan start. You want it to kind of like breathe the air into it, and voila.
that's the first part. This is one of the slower sections, obviously. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here. We're going to pick it up. We're gonna place it right back in. We're gonna turn this so it's facing that way. Then we're gonna start running down this way, so we can pick up this pipe up here. Then we're gonna go down here. We're going to place the pipe in here. We're going to turn it to the left. Then we're gonna go back over here. We're gonna pick this up, drop it back in, and then we're going to turn it to the left. And now we've solved the puzzle. There's a lot going on in just a short amount of time that you have to remember.
I can't believe. I hope we don't get in trouble for this.
Yeah, like it's and that's the thing too, that like I think that my most favorite part about this game, other than the glitches. The glitches are my favorite, but the second favorite part for me are the puzzles. Like just being able to solve the puzzles so quickly. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I like being a puzzle master. It's fun. But yeah, so essentially we, by having this furnace, get the fire, we're able to open up the pig, and then the pig was able to kind of fill the dam. And so the other thing to know about this area, and the reason why it's maybe the least favorite, is the fact that we also have to like go into a boat. The boat's not rowing, the boat itself is not bad. It's going in and out of the boat that I have a problem with. I don't know about Stevetvonline, but for me,
I found something. I'll explain it. I found out something. This is the last slide, by the way. Oh no! Go down the slide. There. Whee!
Amber wondered if now they could reach the entrance of the cave.
All right, we are done with slides. All right, so yeah, I found something interesting about it all of a sudden when I was practicing this the other day about getting in and out of them. That I'll explain when I get to it, because I had struggles because Ember just like to go and like get out of the boat for no reason whatsoever when you're trying to like row the boat instead. So here's the boat. We have to do the same thing that we were just doing with the movement based, but this one is a little bit better if you go a little bit slower. In my opinion, I think it goes a little bit faster because you're taking longer strides. That's what I was talking about, Rue. I think it gets a little bit more distance, and you don't have to mash it as fast, and it doesn't wear down your fingers as much. You're getting just as much distance with going faster than you would
why the dam had been blocked.
Doing this than like mashing really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you can control it a little bit better, in my opinion, that way. So, in order to get out of the boat, you have to go over to these docks, these ladders over here. But if you just... I'm going to do a little bit of a turnaround here. If you just let go of the button and don't hit any direction, it will automatically lock on to the dock so you can climb up it a little bit faster, and it will automatically start climbing. You don't have to get really close to it. As long as you see the button and you just tap it, it will go right up to the dock.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, because I think I'm mashing the button too much then.
Yeah, if you hold in any direction when trying to get onto there, it will make your boat move instead of going onto the thing. So if you just let go of all buttons to get up to there, then they climb up automatically.
So this area is technically the final dungeon. This is where the last of all the forlorns are. We are essentially... we do have one more skip coming up, and it's this one's one of my favorites too. So, but for here, right now we are gonna have to just kind of do it like you casually would. But we're opening up to the next section so that we can get to. So one of the tricks involves a lens, and it's not the first one that we just saw, but it's going to be this one that's coming up.
Had found another unlit campfire.
So this is the last fire. Well, kind of the last campfire. This will be like the one that opens up to the last campfire.
The last campfire.
The last campfire. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go over here. Oh, that was weird. We're gonna go into here and we're gonna knock down this tree and go over to this dead. I'm not sure if it's an ember or what type of enemy it is. But we're going to pick up the lens that it had, go in here, and instead of putting it inside of the holder that you normally would, we're actually going to go down this way, and we are going to go past the campfire, drop this down so we can actually drop this down. go over here, pick this up, and then we're going to go through here. We're going to then solve one more forlorn puzzle.
Before the trick.
Yeah, before the trick. So I'm going to set this down there so it'll be all set. And if Ember would talk, that would help. All right, this is carried away. This is a very simple puzzle.
The stranger was wary, coiled.
I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but I mean, any easy puzzle is a favorite for speedrunner.
Yeah.
So all we need to do is just go over here. We have to pick up the statue. Then we're gonna bring it down here. I'm gonna go into it again. Go all the way down here. Then we're going to move this out of the way, out of this way. Then we're gonna pick this up and move over here, drop it down, and that's the puzzle.
But this new light do the same.
Ta-da! Yeah, I would say most of these puzzles inside this area are actually like a lot harder. This one is the easiest one. I think it's because they were like, oh hey, let's give you a but all the other ones are hard. They're very hard.
So after this, we go into one of the coolest skips in the entire game, in my opinion. And while I'm doing it, I'll have Cutie-Roo explain a little bit of what you would normally be doing.
Yes. Okay, so this skip saves a ton of time. Like, literally, like, it's a lot of time. So the pig one saves 30. I would say this one is like 15 to 20. Oh, you got it first try.
Yeah.
So, basically, you're skipping a whole section where you don't have to meet a new character. You don't have to go find the eye. And you don't have to like go give the eye back to the character so that they can make a boat. So that's basically what we just skipped. And as you can tell, there's no boat with us, right? So you're like, hey, where did our boat go? Well, pay attention to that because you'll be surprised about this, what comes up next. But there's a whole, like, I think it literally is 20 minutes worth where you literally have to meet a character, get the eye, get the object, and you have to solve a puzzle to get that object, then come back. And then you come back, give it to the character makes you the boat, there's a cutscene, it's a lot. So we just skipped a ton by just doing it.
And actually, the character that we skipped is actually one of my favorite characters in the game, which is very unfortunate. Because like, he's this really goofy, he's a robot, if I remember correctly? Yeah, he's this really goofy robot.
Okay, so remember that boat I was talking about? Ta-da!
And the funny line coming up.
The boat was a little unconventional.
The boat was a little bit unconventional.
Already loved it.
So it's a little bit more unconventional than the boat that we just had, even though it's literally the same exact boat.
Yeah.
So what would normally happen is you would be able to say what type of boat you would want. It's between like a duck and like a fox and one other one, and you get to decide what type of boat you want, and then it will once you solve the puzzle and give him everything, he builds you that boat to look like that. But since we don't really do that, it just gives you the regular boat. And it's a little bit unconventional.
I mean, hey, I'm happy that we get a boat.
Yeah.
I was scared when I didn't see a boat, and I'm like, am I supposed to get out? You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, the boat's there still. Okay, good. Yay.
So I found a little bit of a trick right there. So normally you're just only supposed to be on those 4 areas, and it will open that up. But if you move one more forward during the cutscene, when the gate opens up, you'll be one step closer to the next area where you need to go. So you can go out just half a second faster than what you normally would.
Had they deserved to make it this far?
Yeah, that was something I just learned. I actually was happy to just learn that. But yeah, so basically, at this time, we're kind of getting close to, not the end of the game, but I would say, we're kind of getting there. We just have to get 2 more embers after this.
Within about 15 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, because it's just basically, like I said, this is like the final area, but we still have like more of the story progression that's going to come, as well as like, we we just have to do the things and the stuff, and I don't want to ruin it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so basically, at this time, we're just gonna get the other two forlorns that we need for this area to light the campfire. These are probably the most hardest puzzles. Because I'm trying to. So I remember for any percent these are, but for all forlorns, I can't remember all of them. But I know that I am interested in running that category, and I know I would like to check that out. But this one right here is pretty difficult casually too,
Yes.
if I remember.
Casually, this
Yeah,
one took me about half an hour or longer to solve. Because I
yeah,
just could not wrap my head around how to solve this puzzle. And
yeah.
then you learn the
This is a
speed
lot.
run. And then you learn the speed run.
The stranger had
Where you
misplaced
take
the
this
memory.
down, you plant it about right there, then you take this one all the way out, make sure
He
you
tried
move
to
it in this
remember, but found more
particular
voids.
way, then you're gonna move
Pattern.
this one yeah, you move it back up this way, then you take this one and you do the same thing, you move it all the way up here, then you bring this all the way over, plant it right there, move this over, all the way up, bring this one down, move it up this way, and then we're just gonna finish it off by doing that. And that's the puzzle.
Only the
That
shape
took
of
me
thought
a
remained.
long time to solve.
Yeah, me too. Like so you have to do it in that particular pattern because otherwise you mess up the puzzle.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to solve that one. I would say probably like what you were saying, 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour even.
Yeah.
Because I remember just being like, I don't like that particular pattern is so hard to think, like
Yeah.
casually.
And I think what took me so long is because not realizing that you could go around the corner.
Yeah.
Bring it around the corner, and that's what like really threw me
The
off a
stranger
lot.
looked around fearfully. I stayed in the nest too long.
Alright, so one more forlorn, and in order to do that we have to go down here, and you know that one puzzle that that one item that we went out there just out of bounds just to
The
get?
spindle
Well,
was
we're gonna use
missing
it
a
right here.
handle, so Ember couldn't turn
Yeah,
it.
we have to have it in order to open up this final section. That's why we do the pound about. Otherwise, yeah. And this actually is a great way to kind of like clear the path too, just so that you can kind of get to the boat faster. But yeah, you do okay. The longer strides, I think I might try this longer strides method. I do the shorter one.
It wears my
But-
figure out way too much, and I don't have as much control over it than I do with this.
Oh, gotcha. That's fair.
So right here, I'm gonna go wide on this spot because you're still kind of moving during this cutscene that you can't skip.
Tremendous,
And when you get out of it, if you're in
slithered from the
closer, you're just
shadows.
gonna be next to the
The
wall,
snake's
and
body
it's gonna
coiled around the
cost you a
floor
little
like
bit more time just to
scaly
go out of the
shield.
way. So I stay wide there, so I don't have to aim up as well.
Yeah, so this will be our last forlorn to get so that we could go to the campfire and light it. This one is not as bad as the last puzzle, but it's still pretty hard. Now, in this room, so we're skipping a lot. That technically was the final boss that we just saw. And we don't necessarily like we don't have like any combat. This is technically a pacifist run. But the way that it works with this final boss is that we kind of like solve the puzzles in each room that the final boss shows up. So technically speaking, the final boss would show up here too, but because we're not really like engaging with the boss and we're just kind of like, okay, we're just gonna get the the forlorn that we need to. That's the fastest one. That's kind of like it's kind of I wanted to point that out because that is the final boss, but we're not doing much with the final boss, so we're skipping the final boss.
Alright, so now we're going into the last forlorn that we have to deal with. And this one is very quick. This was another one that took me a while, and then when you find out the little tricks, so we're going to take this, move it forward, move up one, then we're going to bring this and move right there, and we are done with the puzzle.
Yeah.
Some faded memory.
It's so quick.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's so like, I remember taking a long time on this one too. Not as long as the last one, but it took me a minute. But see what I mean by being a puzzle master? It's so much fun. You get to have like all the knowledge.
Yeah.
I think we need a puzzle master achievement when you're speedrunning this.
Yeah.
But as we're so this is a part where like as the runner you're like, okay,
tears, the stranger said,
I'm pretty much done.
You have
Now all I
reminded
have
me,
is
friend.
just the last bit to do.
The beacon.
And so you kind of get excited, right? Like you're kind of like, I don't know, like you know those times like if you're in a race or if you're in a speedrun and you know you're on a really good pace for time, your heart starts pumping kind of thing.
Like me last night when I almost got world record, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, you have world record.
Yeah, I technically there. So for the longest time, I was just sitting there on speedrun.com, wondering if it was gonna get accepted or whatever. And then they came up with a new category. Oops. They came up with a new category called normal time only instead of like doing the loading or the load remover. And come to find out, coming from third place with everybody to first place normal time. So I technically have a world record in this category.
Yeah. If there's any like donations or anything to say during this is a pretty long moment.
Yeah, this is another one of those long ones.
For answers.
There are no donations here, but I can say one thing, that with the schedule coming up later today, there are a bunch of runs that aren't on the intermission screen or the omnibar down below. You have runs for games like Super Metroid, Light Matter, Superliminal, Half-Life 2, Mario Galaxy, and a bunch of others coming up later today, as well as other runs during the marathon. Steve, you're running a couple other games here as well. You're running Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday and Toy Story 3 on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep. I would strongly suggest coming to Porky Pig because it's my first ever SNES game that I've ever run ever, and usually a 3D platformer and Xbox player. And then I got that game, and I just thoroughly enjoy playing it.
Yeah, that's tomorrow, scheduled at about 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want it to be localized to your time, you can run !schedule in chat and click on the link that appears.
Alright, so now the Forlorn Shadow Spirit told us to go talk to the Forest King one last time. So that's what we're going to be doing.
This is a big plot twist part, by the way. Spoiler for anyone watching. This is a huge one.
Yeah.
It's a good one though. I don't know. The storyline to this is so good.
Was wrong, and
so instead of the birds being out here, they weren't out there at all.
All the birds.
So we decided to just walk in anyway. They're standing up here, and the Forest King is not talking at all. So we go over here and we say, "Hey, what's this chain? Let's see what it does." So, come to find out, there's a slot underneath the Forest King's chair. And as I like to say, and as they say in Wizard of Oz, pay no attention to the ember under the stairs, or pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
And pulleys in the base of the chair.
It is so true.
Yep. So come to find out, somebody has been controlling the Forest King the whole time. Nothing is real in here. The Forest King is not real.
They're real.
The Forest King was fake this whole entire time.
The Forest King wasn't real.
But who could be controlling it? We've seen all of them. We've been waking up everybody. Who could it be?
I don't know. Who could it be? My other favorite part is, now that when you think about it too, now that you know like the Forest King was fake, you know that the two guards that were birds, all the bird guards are fake too.
Yeah. And it took me a little bit to realize it. If you look at the birds, if you play this casually, you can see their eyes like halfway down their body.
Yep.
It's hilarious.
Yep.
And you don't notice it when you're first playing it at all, because you're just like, oh, okay, and then you see it now and you're like, oh. So come to find out, this is who's been controlling it.
In the clearing, Ember
The
hopes to
red
find answers
character that you saw throughout the
behind
entire
Forest
movie,
King's
or not
puppet.
movie,
The
game,
strangers, don't you see?
is
What hope
who's
can
been
there be
controlling
in
the
that?
Forest King
The
the whole time.
stranger had Ember knew they
Yep.
spoke the truth.
That,
The path goes
and they were just
slipping
trying to
beyond.
help.
In the
And
end,
see, that's the
what
thing
have I
too. It's
done?
like you're like, oh, but you've
Slowly,
been
the
betrayed. But
stranger
it's like
was-
honestly,
I
they were
wanted
just
to,
trying
but
to
how
help
do you
everyone
save
involved.
others once
Your
your
heart
light
goes
has
out for
gone
them
out?
because it's like they just wanted to protect people. And so another thing that you actually get to see for the first time in the whole entire run, but this is actually something that you see continuously throughout the game. So the main characters have their own
The
like
wondrous thoughts
puzzle,
had become twisted.
and you have to find their light inside of each puzzle. But we don't see it in the speed run because we always
Hiding
skip those
every day
like those
behind a mask.
characters. They're always side characters. They're not, you know. This is probably like part of the
Watching
main
hopeful
quest
little
characters,
ones
but
arrive endlessly.
yeah, it's just kind of funny that like we skipped all of that because of all the all the
Knowing the empty
glitches.
path that lay ahead.
Because some of the main characters, like in the very beginning with the fisherman and everything like that, you had to do that there too. But it's just because we
Inside
skip
their
all of it, we
dim
never see
light was
this.
a
So
hidden
this is the
pain.
first time that you're going to see this. We usually have to get the light for each character so that they don't
They
get
had
swallowed by the
watched
darkness.
those they care for turn forlorn.
So this is the only light that you kind of had to carry up to the top to give to the
They had
character
locked
here.
their hope away. Tried
So
to
the
protect
timing
it.
will be coming up when it says we can go together. If there's a line in the dialogue box, I'll let you know when
And
it
Ember's
happens, but there's a
actions
lot
had
of
seemed a
mashing before that
distorted mirror.
happens.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter what order you pick too much.
Right,
There
that's
is,
why
like,
I just mash at this point.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of mashing before time comes up.
Yep. I always wondered what those creatures were in the forest. The little like bloopers.
The wanderers
I don't know.
searched for words.
It kind of remind me of
When I reached
the Studio
this
Ghibli,
is
those
all.
little
How do you face
and
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke
I'm
with the
not
white
ready.
little spirits.
Mhm.
It kind of remind me of that, but just blue.
I turned back, built a little. You hope, you try, you fail, and then
Yeah, as long as you
Nothing
mash
more.
that, I mean,
I
there's
thought
nothing
out
really more that you
without an
can
end. They lost hope
do but
anyway.
mash at this
The
point.
wanderer took a breath.
Yeah,
The red one will say you can go ahead and take my boat,
Somewhere.
and
Ember
go without
paused.
me,
So
and then
many
we'll say we'll go
places,
together,
so
and that'll be
many
time.
others
So
whose
that'll be
paths
coming
had
up
crossed their
probably
own.
this next dialogue.
After
Only my
every-
boat remains.
only
Take my oar,
boat.
leave this
your
place,
journey.
and
Leave this place. Ember knew the. Were they any more ready than the wanderer?
time. All right. So while this final cutscene is going, this really cute ending cutscene is going, I want to say that this was amazing to open up this new marathon. For being invited to run 3 games in this marathon, for showing off the last Campfire. I'm not sure if this is the first marathon it's ever been in or not. But this is such a cute game. I would strongly suggest anybody playing. I know we've said it multiple times throughout this entire run, but it's worth it. It's such a great story, fun puzzles if you like puzzle games. I run a ton of different games. I'm learning a new speed around every single month this year. So I run over 40 different speed games. And what about you, Rue?
I say shout out to you for having me and inviting me on. I appreciate it. This is a very, very like special game to me in the sense of a hidden gem, and I appreciate that. And also shout out to having me on the marathon, and thank you for inviting me and welcoming me, and I hope that the rest of the marathon goes very, very well, especially for you and your other games coming up too. Good luck and have fun with them, and thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure being here.